Good evening, Saints fans and who that's from all over the world. This is Kyle T. Mosley with Bob Rose bringing you the second line halftime report. The New Orleans Saints are up on the Green Bay Packers at halftime, 17-13. It was kind of scary there, Bob. What happened? Tell me about the first half.
Well, when the Saints have had success offensively, they have done exactly what you and I have called on them to do all week long. They've run the football. Latavius Murray looks absolutely spectacular. Alvin Kamara has had a really good first half. I think he has like 115, 117 total yards, all-purpose yards from scrimmage. Kamara does. So they're getting the ball in the hands of the two players that I think can hurt the Green Bay defense the most. We finally had a Jared Cook sighting and an Emmanuel Sanders sighting on that final drive, where Breeze looked crisp. He still can't get the ball downfield, and the pass protection isn't allowing him to even look for the ball down, to make a play downfield. But at least we saw a little bit of rhythm finally out of that Saints passing game towards the end of the first half.
But what set up the rhythm for me is what I've been clamoring for, hollering for, and begging for: run the football. There's no better chance for the New Orleans Saints to win this game but to consistently run the football. They had the Packers on skates. You saw that, right? Those guys could not get a solid footing when, I guess it was midway through the second quarter, the Saints were at 100 yards or more on the ground. So I think it's pretty simple. The way that this team is built, the way that they have to be able to operate instead of having Michael Thomas in the lineup is to be able to rush the football. What were some of the key plays to you?
Well, again, the plays that Latavius Murray has had inside the tackles, he is running with authority, and I hope Sean Payton completely continues to feed him the rock, which allows Kamara to move around the formation a little bit, making him even more effective. So obviously, and again, like I pointed out, that final drive of the first half, hopefully that gives the 41-year-old Drew Brees a little bit of confidence. And who'd have thought we'd have ever said that? Because that's going to be big to come into the second half. The Saints defensive line, they made a couple plays early on. And they seem to be establishing control on the line of scrimmage a little bit against that Green Bay running attack. Aaron Jones bounced two outside, but otherwise the Saints seem to be dominating the play in between the tackles, really on both sides of the line in the running game right now, and that's what's key. Yeah,
early on in the game, it seems like the Packers were establishing the tempo for the game, right? And the off tackle runs that Jones was having, the misdirections that they were having, the rollouts from Aaron Rodgers. It seems like the defense started to settle in around the second quarter. How do you feel about their performance?
Yeah, no, they did. They did. Someone has to tell Marshawn Lattimore that he's in reality guarding Mike Evans or Julio Jones or one of the NFL's top receivers, because Lattimore, and I'm trying to choose my words very carefully because I'm angry right now. Lattimore needs to play his top game every single week, not just against the top guys. He was beaten soundly on two back-to-back plays, or 2 out of 3 plays on that Green Bay touchdown drive. Obviously, the deep one to Lazard, but also on the touchdown play. He should have recognized that when DeMario came on a blitz on the outside, that was Lattimore's man to get to the outside and read that pattern. And he not only didn't do it, he dogged it to even get out there in the first place. But other than that, I think Janoris Jenkins is playing a whale of a first half. DeMario is playing DeMario. And I'm watching to see how badly injured Carl Granderson is. But again, the Saints defensive line, like you said, they settled down and is starting to get into the Green Bay backfield a little bit and put a little bit of pressure on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Being able to get in his face and make him uncomfortable, that's the key, right? And you talked about it a lot on the Bayou Blitz. It's really putting something in his face, getting him off the block. All right, so a couple of key plays. The 15-yard sack by Demario Davis, that first drive for the Packers to be able to limit them to the 3 points. That was very crucial. CJ Johnson had that open field tackle as well, was pretty crucial as well. But the Saints defense, it felt like I don't know if people were overhyping the offense of the Packers, but I still feel like they were overhyping the offense of the Packers. What are your thoughts? Am I off base?
And I feel that way too. Listen, I acknowledge that Green Bay came in on an offensive roll. There's no question about it. They put up over 40 points in back-to-back games. But that was against the Minnesota defense that was in shambles and against the Detroit Lions, which are the Detroit Lions. The Saints defense on paper is better than both of those squads. And you and I felt like that they matched up very well against Green Bay in the run. As long as they could just not have any breakdowns in the secondary. And they haven't, except for the one play, and get a little bit of pressure on Rodgers. So we're going to see in the second half, Cam Jordan started to look like he was heating up and getting a little bit of penetration. And the Saints defensive tackles are playing pretty well again. I'd like to see them get a little bit more push into the backfield. It's going to be key to see the way the Saints defense comes out in the second half, because Green Bay does get the kickoff first. But I do like this matchup as long as they can pressure the Packers backfield.
Okay, Bob, two things I would like to go over before we go off the air. The referees, they are really calling a poor game, in my opinion.
Yeah. They are. They're too quick with the flag. As always, the Saints, for their part, the Saints are going to have to clean up their own play. And New Orleans was the beneficiary of a fairly big call themselves.
Right.
That you honestly could have gone either way. We know as New Orleans Saints fans and as two men who cover the team, this team cannot rely on officiating to win or lose this ball game, because we know that it's going to come out with an L every time. New Orleans has to be responsible on both sides of the ball themselves for cleaning up their own play.
Yeah, and the penalties, they're not as high already, but they're still concerning, in my opinion. All right, the Saints had 11 first downs and Green Bay had 10 first downs. The Saints' net yardage is 194, Green Bay's 140. Drew Brees is 14 of 17 for 104 yards, 2 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 131.4. Alvin Kamara has been outstanding, like you said, man. 4 rushes for 56 yards. Latavius Murray, 8 rushes for 48 yards. Kamara on the evening for receiving is at 7 targets, 7 catches, 61 yards. I just think the Saints need to continue with the run and continue to be able to put some pressure on those guys. Any last thoughts before we go off the air?
No, we have to see Sean Payton continue with the play calling that he has been. They are aggressive in the running game. I'd like to see some more quick hitters like we saw in the passing game from that last drive. And again, Saints defensive line and front seven in particular, you got to stay aggressive. If you stay aggressive, you can keep the momentum as you get into the second half.
Yeah. One thing I would like for Sean Payton to do is take that behind the line of scrimmage pass away and throw it away for the rest of the season. All right. This is Kyle T. Mosley here with Bob Rose of the Bayou Blitz, as well as we can be found on si.com/NFL/Saints for the latest in New Orleans Saints news. Let's have a good second half. Bob, thank you. Take care. Have a good one.